Assalamualaikum and hello. In this video, we are going to use a few examples to enhance your understanding about structural formula. So, let's try them together with me. I got example 2 where you have to write the structural formula of the compounds given in expanded structure, condensed structure and skeletal structure. So let's focus with A, 1-butene. So you got the molecular formula C4H8. So you don't have to worry about how you want to start. So when you see this name, it ends with E and E. So of course this is alkene. So alkene got functional group which is carbon-carbon double bond. And of course, you have to show the carbon-carbon double bond at the first carbon. So, we will start by using this molecular formula with 4 carbons and 8 hydrogens. I'm going to draw the expanded structure first with 4 carbons, 1, bonded to 2, bonded to 3, bonded to 4. And then just give the numbering for the number of the carbons that you use up already. Now you are going to draw the double bond that shows the functional group. But as you see here, you got 1. So of course it will start with carbon 1, but double bond is being shared between 2 carbons. So of course the double bond is going to be between carbon 1 and carbon 2. So I'm going to draw double line for this position. And then what's next? Make sure you put 4 covalent bonds around each carbon atom. So carbon 1 already got 2. So you got 2 more left. So I'm going to draw 1, 2. Carbon 2 you got 1 more left. And then carbon 3 you got 2 more left. And carbon 4 you got 3 more left. So all of them got 4 covalent bonds. And now I'm going to replace them. I'm going to attach the bond with hydrogen. Make sure you put hydrogen with correct numbering, 8 hydrogens. So I'm going to start from carbon 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the correct expanded structure for 1-butene. And from here, we are going to continue with the condensed structure. I'm going to start from left to right. We will start with carbon 1 first. So carbon 1, you got 2 hydrogen. So it's going to be CH2. Make sure the numbering will be lower subscript. And then the next one, you got double bond. And in condensed structure, double bond needs to be shown. So you have to put the double bond between this carbon with carbon 2. So this is going to be carbon 2 with 1 hydrogen. I'm going to put it above. You know this one is carbon 1, this one is carbon 2. And what's next? You are going to attach carbon 2 and carbon 3 without showing the single bond. So how I can do that? I'm going to draw it just like this one, where straightaway I put the third carbon C with 2 hydrogen, and this is your carbon 3, and the last carbon is carbon 4 with CH3. So this is your 4th carbon. The next one, I can show you another form that you can draw for condensed structure of 1-butene. I'm going to start with double bond first in horizontal line. So what can I draw here? I'm going to start like this. And this is my first carbon. This is my second carbon. And then what's next? I'm going to continue with the hydrogen at the first carbon with 2. So I'm going to write at the left with H2. Make sure behind the symbol of that atom. You cannot put 2 in front of here. The next one, I'm going to continue with hydrogen at second carbon. So it's going to be CH. And the third carbon, you got CH2. You put CH2. And this is going to be your third carbon. And last one, you have 3 hydrogen at the fourth carbon is going to be CH3. So this is another form for condensed structure of 1-butene. So whichever you want to choose between the black one or the blue one, both are acceptable. Next one, I'm going to draw the skeletal structure for 1-butene. So I'm going to start with carbon 1. This is going to be 1 dot. And then this is number 1. Just make sure you put the numbering, you are going the right way. And after that, I got double bond here between carbon 1 and 2. So we got 2 lines. This is double bond. And now, this is going to be carbon number 2. And after that, I'm going to continue with the zigzag form for the third carbon and for the fourth carbon. So this is the third, this is the fourth. And this is the skeletal structure for 1-butene. Very easy. If you want to put the dot at the numbering, it's fine. If you don't want to put it, also fine. But at least I can see the zigzag form that you show in the skeletal structure. Now, let's continue with the second example, 1-propanol. So, you have to show with the numbering of functional group OH at the first carbon. So, that's why the name starts with 1-propanol. And I'm going to highlight this is my functional group at the first carbon. So, let's do the expanded structure first. I got 3 carbons here. So, you got 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is the first, the second carbon and the third. And at the first carbon, you got hydroxyl group. And of course, you have to expand O and the bond between O and H. So don't put OH like this one. This is wrong. So make sure you draw the correct expanded structure. Because expanded structure, you have to open everything. Now, I'm going to continue with the next one. Make sure each carbon got 4 covalent bonds. So, you got first carbon with 2 more left, second with 2 more left, and the third with 3 more left. And I'm going to fill in each carbon with the rest of hydrogen atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now you will get the same number of atoms as its molecular formula, C3H7OH. And this is the expanded structure for 1-propanol. And please be careful here, this bond needs to be shown. And the next one, I'm going to continue with condensed structure. We will start with first carbon from left to right. So how I'm going to draw this structure, I'm going to draw as C with 2 hydrogen at the first carbon. And you got OH group here. So I'm going to put in the bracket OH, close the bracket. And now let's continue with the second carbon. You got C with 2 hydrogen. And then you will write it down as CH2. And you continue with the third carbon with 3 hydrogens. You will put as CH3. So this is the condensed structure for 1-propanol. You can try another form of condensed structure, but make sure you got the correct one. Now I'm going to continue with the skeletal structure. So for the skeletal structure, from left to right in the zigzag form, please don't show the carbon and hydrogen atoms. Apart from those two atoms, you need to show them. So I'm going to start with carbon 1. So 1. And then attach with carbon number 2. And attach with carbon number 3. At carbon number 1, you got OH group. So of course, you are compulsory to show this group. But you need to show as well this single bond. But you cannot put OH group directly here because the number of carbon is wrong. I need 3 of them, not 2 of them. So what can you do? You need to show the position of this bond. So I'm going to add another zigzag line which connected to oxygen attached to hydrogen. So in this skeletal form, I don't have to show the bond between O and hydrogen, but make sure this bond bonded to O, not hydrogen. So for here, this bond is referring to this position. So I hope you are clear with this drawing of skeletal structure. Now, let's continue with the last one, ethyl cyclopentane. So you don't have to draw the skeletal anymore. Now, I'm going to start from skeletal to expanded structure. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw the ring first. As you see from here, you got ring with 5 carbons. So I'm going to put the number so that you can see it very clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the next of it, you got carbon number 6 and 7. Now I'm going to start with carbon number 1, but still the form of the ring stays as it is, just like this one. So I'm going to expand my structure with carbon number 1 and then bonded to carbon number 2, bonded to carbon number 3, bonded to carbon number 4, and bonded to carbon number 5. And this is how I draw my carbon chain in the ring form. And after that, I'm going to continue with the carbon number 6 and carbon number 7. So now, my carbon chain is complete, but my hydrogen that attached to each carbon is not yet. So how I'm going to do, how many hydrogens should I put, because I don't have the molecular formula. So please remember, each carbon must contain 4 covalent bonds. And that bonds can be single, double, or triple. But in this case, you can see that from skeletal structure, there is no double bond or triple bond. So of course, all covalent bonds at each carbon atom are single bond. So I'm going to complete with 4 of them. So start with carbon 1 first. You got 1 more left attached to hydrogen. And carbon 2, you got 2 more left attached to hydrogen. And you got carbon 3, 2 more left attached to hydrogen. And you got carbon 4, 2 more left attached to hydrogen. Carbon 5, 2 more left attached to hydrogen. Settle for the hydrogen around the carbon chain in the ring form. Now for carbon number 6, you got 2 more left, hydrogen. And carbon number 7 with 3 more left, with 3 hydrogens. So now your expanded structure for ethyl cyclopentane is complete. The next one, I'm going to continue with the condensed structure. In condensed structure, you must retain the structure for the ring. So I'm going to put this structure of this ring with 5 carbons as it is. So I'm going to draw the same way with 5 carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And I'm going to give the numbers so that you can see it very clearly later on. And after that, I'm going to compress everything around this ring. So let's start with carbon number 1 first. So carbon number 1, you got 1 hydrogen. So what will happen? You put the hydrogen beside it. So this is going to be CH. And carbon number 2, you got 2 hydrogen here. So you have to compress and put it beside carbon number 2. It's going to be H2. Just like that. Put it beside this carbon. And after that, carbon number 3, you got 2 hydrogen. Same goes for carbon number 4 and carbon number 5. So I'm going to put H2 for each of these 3 carbons. And after that, I'm going to continue with the carbon number 6. So carbon number 6, you got single bond between 1 and 6. But you cannot show the single bond between these 2 carbons because it is outside the ring. So I'm going to compress with CH2 and CH3 for carbon number 7. So all of them together is going to be CH2, CH3. So this is going to be carbon number 6. This is going to be carbon number 7. And this is the complete condensed structure for ethyl cyclopentane. So that's how you draw the condensed structure for the molecule that has a ring form. Just like this one, a special ring form. I hope you are clear with these 3 examples so that you can attempt to answer the exercise 2 in your notes. And also, for exercise 3, you can try to draw the expanded and skeletal structure for these all condensed structures given for each of the molecule. I hope you are clear with drawing the structural formula by the end of this video. So that's all from me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.